All right, hey you guys, welcome back to the channel. And I just want to start off by saying I appreciate your guys' support. I appreciate you guys watching these videos. And we're going to kick it off today with talking about, I don't know, it might be backwards, but we're going to be talking about jerkbaits. And one of the things with jerkbaits is it has changed. The way we fish them, when we use them. You know, it used to be something that people would think of as like a cold water technique, a pre-spawn technique for cold lethargic bass. But now today with forward-facing sonar, a lot of that has changed with the jerkbaits. And the reason that has changed and why forward-facing sonar has changed this lure right here from being just thrown at certain times of the years and then we just put it away in our box is most of the fish out there are suspended. You know, when we're out there skating around with forward-facing sonar and we're looking, these fish are suspended out, just roaming around. And what makes this such a great bait is the ability for it to get down there, but also to stay in that strike zone. What I've learned is that the longer you can keep a bait in the front of a bass's face in that strike zone, the more apt he is to bite it. And the thing is, the fish aren't always just coming up, slashing at it, crushing it, trying to eat it, but a lot of it is you get a lot of fish that just they'll follow the bait from behind. And the good thing about it is, you know, most other lures, you know, you have to keep it moving to keep it right there in front of keep it up in the water column, I should say, and keep it in front of the fish, because you know you're swimming it. If you got like a swim bait or a chatterbait, if you got a crankbait even, or a spinner bait, you know, you're having to reel that bait to keep it up. And the thing is, fish, largemouth bass, they got their eyes, you know, it's on top of their head. They're gonna wanna feed up. They're not trying to really feed down. And when those fish are suspended, if that lure gets below a bass, he's just not even gonna think about it. I mean, sometimes, you know, he might bite it. It depends how aggressive that fish is. Every fish has a different behavior. But most bass aren't aggressively feeding unless they're around bait and they're actively feeding on that school bait. Most of the time they're just around the bait, under the bait, and they won't be feeding, but they sit under that bait, suspended, and they just come up and eat whenever they feel like eating. And that's what makes this such a great bait to throw year-round. I mean, spring, summer, winter, fall, deep winter, all those things, because like I said again, having that bait stay in the strike zone, stay above the fish, and that fish will come up behind it and eat it. Now, a couple tips and tricks that I've noticed with using forward-facing sonar on trying to trigger strikes with a jerkbait, you're either gonna wanna go, I wouldn't wanna go with a jerkbait that sinks. Because again, that goes against the theory of him sitting there watching it. If that bait's sinking and it gets below him, he's not 99% of the time, he's not going to go down and chase that. Certain times of the year, you know, they'll chase a falling bait, but if they want it falling fast, and a jerkbait's not going to sink fast. So basically, I'm going to be going usually with a suspended jerkbait or something, or a rising jerkbait. I mean, you can buy lead tape, and I think the best route to honestly go is going to be with a rising jerkbait, and then because that's something you can add lead tape to slow the rise of that bait. The slower you can make that bait rise, the more bites you're going to get. Suspended is good sitting there. They'll eat that as well, but I've noticed sometimes when I'm fishing other lures, if I slowly raise that lure while he's underneath of it, he'll creep up to it as it rises and then eat it. More so than it just sitting there suspended in front of his face. So that's why I think if you can take a rising jerkbait and weight it to the amount where it just rises just a little bit, you're going to trigger a lot more strikes with that. And that is why forward-facing sonar has really changed this bait, because you're able to actively see the fish. Most of them are suspended. Now you can specifically target those fish. So having a slow rising jerkbait or a suspended jerkbait, those are going to be the two jerkbaits I go with. I'll never go with what I've seen now, I'll never go with a sinking jerkbait. So again, that right there, that is the reason why forward-facing sonar has changed this bait. It's been because Let me see if there's 1, 2, 3. So basically, you can get it in the strike zone, it stays in the strike zone, and you can keep it above those fish. So those are gonna be your 3 critical factors to get him bit on a jerkbait when using forward-facing sonar. So again, appreciate it, you guys. Hope you like this video. Go out, throw some jerkbaits. Definitely one of the top lures to be using with forward-facing sonar, and you can use it throughout the year now, not just in those cold winter months and the early spring. So thank you guys, and I'll see you guys next time.